World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.
Good day to all of our listeners here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service. This is World News in 5 and I'm your host, Steph Vicente. The possibility of the United States taking direct control of Venezuela appears to be fading following the dramatic seizure of President Nicolas Maduro over the weekend. However, U.S. officials say Washington is keeping around 15,000 troops in the Caribbean and could launch another military action if Venezuela's interim leader, Delcy Rodriguez, does not meet American demands. According to a report from The Guardian, President Donald Trump said the U.S. would now run Venezuela and warned Rodriguez to comply. He said she could face consequences even worse than Maduro if she refused. Rodriguez has publicly condemned Maduro's capture, calling it an atrocity, but reports say she has held private talks with U.S. officials. Trump claimed she told U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio that she would cooperate. In Caracas, top government and military leaders called for Maduro's return but backed Rodriguez as a temporary leader. Defense Minister Vladimir Padrino Lopez urged Venezuelans to return to work, school, and normal daily activities. In other news overseas, Denmark's Prime Minister has told U.S. President Donald Trump to stop making threats about taking over Greenland. Mette Frederiksen said it makes no sense for the United States to talk about annexing Greenland, stressing that the U.S. has no right to take over any part of the Danish kingdom. According to BBC News, her comments followed a social media post by Katie Miller, the wife of Trump aide Stephen Miller, showing Greenland in the colors of the American flag with the word soon. Trump has repeatedly suggested Greenland should become part of the United States, pointing to its strategic location and mineral resources. In a statement on the Danish government website, Frederiksen said she was speaking very directly to Washington. She reminded the U.S. that Denmark and Greenland are NATO members protected by the alliance's security guarantees. And finally, at least 30 people have been killed and several others kidnapped after gunmen attacked a village in northern Nigeria's Niger State, police said on Sunday. The attackers stormed Kasuwan Daji village in the Borgu area on Saturday evening, opening fire on residents. Police said the gunmen also burned down the local market and several homes. According to CNN, some residents say the death toll is much higher, estimating up to 37 or more victims, with several people still missing. They also claim security forces have not yet reached the area despite police saying officers have been deployed. The Catholic Church in the Contagora Diocese reported that more than 40 people may have been killed and said some of those abducted were children. Residents said the gunmen had been seen in nearby communities for days before the attack, and survivors are now too afraid to return to the village to recover the bodies. And that concludes today's edition of World News in 5. For Radyo Pilipinas World Service, this has been Steph Vicente. Good day and stay safe, everyone.
World News in 5.
Right now.
News and developments making headlines around the world in 5 minutes. World News in 5. Here on Radyo Pilipinas World Service.